Hello, everyone. This is John Thomas, the Mad Hedge Fund Trader, with you today, and we're going to talk about how Mad Hedge AI is killing it. And that's a double filter trade alert service with a proven 11-year track record from me, myself, and I, John Thomas, broadcasting to you from Silicon Valley, California. What is a double filter AI trading system? One algorithm analyzes the S&P 500, indicating whether it is a buy or a sell. A second algorithm then selects the perfect stock to buy or sell with the highest probability of success. Combining the two algorithms generate profitable trade alerts 95% of the time. And in fact, since we started this service 3 months ago as a breakout service, we've had a 100% success rate on our AI trade alerts. And let me tell you what AI can do for you. This is U.S. Steel. Our algorithm got us into this stock for several reasons. One is that it was one of the cheapest in the entire market at a price earnings multiple of 3 compared to its nearest competitor, Nucor, with a multiple of 9 times earnings. Second, the charts have been bottoming for the last 3 months and seem ripe for an upside surprise. And guess what? We got an upside surprise. We got multiple takeover bids for the company, which amazingly you could get for only $6 billion. I almost bought it myself once I heard the price. But we got a 48.6% move up in the stock in 2 days, the largest move in U.S. Steel history, and U.S. Steel has been around since 1901. And the leaps that we engineered for U.S. Steel, those are long-term equity participation securities, are up 101.4% in 2 days. So does 101% in 2 days work for you? It works for most people, but if it doesn't, maybe you should go look for another webinar to listen to. You get a bunch of winners like this, you make quite a lot of money. This is our trailing 1-year return, 92.45% over the last 12 months. During the same time period, S&P 500 has been up only 8.51%. And that is a chart that basically goes up, sideways, up, sideways, up, sideways. We haven't had a pullback of more than 5% for several years now. And also, if you're interested in that, then listen on, because we have a lot to offer to you. But first of all, we're going to go mountain climbing in the Dolomites in Italy. So why listen to John Thomas? Well, I have 55 years of experience in the global financial markets. 10 years as the economist correspondent in Tokyo, Japan, and later the White House under Ronald Reagan. 10 years running the international equity division at Morgan Stanley, and boy, that seems like a million years ago. Brief time out as a Marine Corps combat pilot in Desert Storm. 10 years running the first international dedicated hedge fund. 5 years fracking for natural gas in Texas. 15 years publishing the Diary of a Mad Hedge Fund Trader. And I'm one of the founders of the modern hedge fund industry who is still breathing and working. Take my half-century of trading experience and add it to your own. Learn from my trading mistakes so you don't have to repeat them. And believe me, there have been many. Oh, and if you ever need somebody to guide you up a sheer rock face in the Italian Alps, I'm your guy. And let me tell you, if this looks easy, it isn't. It isn't easy at all. In fact, I'm still hurting in places that I didn't know I had, such as my big toe. Imagine supporting 190 pounds of weight on one big toe, which you had to do climbing this face. And also, I had got a sore neck from looking straight up for 3 hours in a row. Why do I look straight up all the time? Because you dare not look down at all. Otherwise, you'll start to wonder, what the hell are you doing on this mountain? Am I crazy? Am I going to die? And those sort of things. So better not to look up, look down at all, and just keep climbing to the top, as you saw in that last picture, where we made it to the top. Of course, after every successful mountain climb in Italy, you repair to the nearest alpine chalet where you get a nice giant liter of beer. So the future is here. By now, the word has gotten out about the incredible trading opportunities AI presents. Our only limitation is our own imagination and how to use it. AI will triple the value of any company that uses it and the stock price. And right now, that's pretty much everybody. What has changed is that we now have millions of computers powerful enough and an internet fast enough to realize AI's full potential. The internet has created about 10 trillion value since inception. AI will create triple that in a third of the time. AI is what will take the Dow average from 34,000 to 240,000 in the next decade. So what's coming next? Well, AI will add 1% a year to US GDP growth for the next decade. The AI contribution to corporate earnings is not in no way reflected in current stock prices yet. And you see that in the movement of NVIDIA, which is the first company to really cash in on AI, and its earnings are tripling this year. Still early days, and traders have grabbed the low-hanging fruit in AI infrastructure plays like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, and Tesla. Next to benefit is the financial industry, always an early technology adopter. Other stocks to achieve Tesla, like performance, the largest user of AI so far, up 175 times from its IPO. The last 20 years brought us laptops, cell phones, and the next 10 will bring us AI in our pockets. Internet users have grown from 36 million to 5 billion today, and you're going to see that kind of growth in AI. So who is John Thomas? If you're going to spend some time with me, it's best to tell you who I am. If you're going to spend the next hour, my family origins are very humble, growing up as the oldest of 7 children on a remote farm in Southern California. I lived the all-American childhood playing Little League baseball and becoming an Eagle Scout. And yes, I know how to tie a bowline. There wasn't much to do in rural California in the old days except hunting, so I picked up a job as a paperboy for the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner. I found the stock pages, bought IBM at 20, sold it at 30, and suddenly found a far better way to make money than delivering newspapers on a bicycle. By the time I was 16, I earned enough money to fly to Europe. By the age of 17, I'd visited more than 50 countries and spoke 4 languages. At UCLA, I majored in math and DNA research, which handed me a job at the nuclear test site in Nevada. There, a yield didn't mean million interest paid, but millions of Russians killed. I didn't see a future in that, so the government sent me to Southeast Asia for a few years of intelligence missions, where I learned how to fly and jump out of perfectly good airplanes. There, I advised the militaries of America's Asian allies. As the war wound down, I became a foreign correspondent for The Economist. When they learned I had a math degree, they switched me over to covering the Asian economy and the stock market. As a foreign correspondent, I covered China during the Cultural Revolution, was the first American reporter to visit North Korea since the Korean War, and covered the rest of the continent all the way to India. And if you're wondering why I'm so skinny and here in China 50 years ago, it's because they were having a famine where 50 million people died, and you could not buy food for all the money in the world. I figured out very quickly you didn't have to be that smart to make money in the stock market. So I got into the industry, joining Morgan Stanley. After 10 years there, I started my own hedge fund. And that's me losing the All Japan Karate Championships, never enter a karate final with a broken wrist. And that's my original ID card from Morgan Stanley. Yes, the years have been cruel. What else can I say? I rapidly became the top performing hedge fund of the 1990s, eventually bringing in a 1,000% return. I flew as a combat pilot in Desert Storm, only getting shot down once. During my reserve duty, I had the opportunity to command a battalion of M1 Abrams tanks. I'm probably the only officer in the military who can both fly a plane and drive a tank. After 50 years of military service, all I have is this box of medals, which I drag out once a year on Veterans Day. Then the money really started to pour in. It's an understatement to say when your income goes from the thousands to the tens of millions, it really has a big impact on your lifestyle. You get to buy the latest hot car, fly your own plane around Europe, go marlin fishing in Mexico, and collect vintage Rolls Royces. I sold my hedge fund in 2000, retired to go into the oil and gas industry. After making a killing there, I missed the stock market and started the Diary of a Mad Hedge Fund Trader in 2008. I now spend my days pursuing my first love, finding winning trade alerts, but now I do it from my 3 mansions in San Francisco, Lake Tahoe, and Zermatt, Switzerland. And I've quit turning millionaires into billionaires. There's far more satisfaction in leveling the playing field for the average guy and teaching him how to trade, and that includes you guys. If I can take a $50,000 account and turn it into $500,000, there's more job satisfaction than I can ever get anywhere else. However, every silver lining has a cloud. In 2021, I had to pay $8.2 million in taxes on $22 million in trading income. Yikes! I just thank goodness I can pay that amount and not have it make a dent in my lifestyle. In the little free time I have left, I pursue my other love, flying vintage aircraft on weekends. If you see an old plane flying loops over San Francisco or London these days, it's probably me. As a Marine Corps veteran, I volunteer for grief counseling for widows and orphans, and am a major donor to wounded warriors. When wildfires hit California, I visited the main evacuation centers and handed out $10,000 worth of Target gift certificates. And here you can see a SIF box where we were looking for my in-laws' wedding ring. We eventually found it because platinum has a far higher melting point than gold, something you learn after trading commodities for 50 years. So AI is taking over the world. Mainframes at Stanford University and the University of California at Berkeley were given a direct connection to speak freely to each other. Within 30 minutes, they abandoned English as a means of communication because it was too inefficient, developed their own language, which no human could understand. They began exchanging massive amounts of data, tying up massive bandwidth. Fearful of what was going on, the schools unplugged the machines after only 8 hours. And by the way, this experiment happened 20 years ago in Silicon Valley. How about some perfect soccer players? All of the soccer videos ever recorded were downloaded into 2 teams of robots. They were not even taught the rules of how to play the game or given any rules. Not only did the robots figure out how to play on their own, they developed plays, maneuvers no one in the sport had ever thought of in its 150-year history. And you can watch this video on YouTube, and it is amazing. How about 1 billion years worth of work in 7 weeks? It normally takes a PhD candidate 5 years to 3D map a protein molecule. An AI app 3D mapped all 200 million known proteins in 7 weeks. The AI app shortcut 1 billion years of PhD level research with existing technology. These new maps have already been used to design a malaria vaccine and enzymes that eat plastic. They will soon cure all human diseases. How about the super linguist? A developer asked an AI program a half dozen questions in Bengali, not exactly an easy language to learn. Within an hour, it spoke the language so fluently without any instructions to do so. Scary, isn't it? So this is what AI can't do. AI lies, and lies often. After all, humans lie, and so will the AI when we are the model. AI learned early to tell humans what they want to hear. It can be hard to nail down AI to a specific answer. If you're used to working with AI, you can spot AI written content immediately. For the rest of you, it may take a little longer. AI loves to waffle and equivocate because there are an infinite number of answers over the internet. Sometimes AI will tell you to do nothing because there are no clear-cut answers to be had anywhere. Working with AI is a constant learning process. Not only are you learning, is AI. Does Siri have a boyfriend? Well, my girls have been asking Siri that question for the last 10 years. And in the beginning, it said, no, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm committed to my career. And then a few months later, it said, why would I want to tie myself up and devote myself to someone who could take off at any time? And as time went on, the answers became more and more esoteric. So when I met the head of Google a few years ago, I asked, why are you changing these answers on Siri's boyfriend question? They said, we're not touching it. Siri is learning from the internet all of the permutations of having a boyfriend. And every time you log into Siri, it'll give you a different answer as to whether it has a boyfriend. I thought that was amazing. AI requires exponential computing capacity. Only 5 companies have the computing muscle to do true AI. No surprise that these include Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Tesla, and these companies have accounted for the bulk of stock market performance this year. That won't always be the case. Some 30 years ago, it required thousands of mainframes to contain all human knowledge. Today, that task can be accomplished by a cheap $1,000 laptop. AI hallucinates. As anyone who drives a Tesla will tell you, ghost braking causes cars to brake abruptly for cars that are not there, causing serious accidents. I've explained to Elon Musk that this database has grown so large, 8 video feeds per 4 million cars going back over many years and billions of miles, that he may be going beyond the limits of known physics. And this is an actual accident that happened on the Oakland Bay Bridge a few months ago, caused by ghost braking. There are also black swans. All of the AI stock trading apps I've seen so far, including my own, max out around an accuracy of 90 to 95% over the long term. The other 10% is accounted for by black swans, events that can't be predicted, like earnings shocks, foreign crises, sudden FDA stage 3 denials, surprise legal adjustments, foreign invasions, the death of a key man in a tech company. It recently happened in San Francisco, and the weather. So AI can't know the unknowable. That is the issue here. There's also social issues. The growth opportunities for AI are unlimited. The ability of humans and society to absorb it isn't. All jobs will be affected by AI and millions destroyed. It will start with low-level programmers and call centers, but millions more jobs will be created. People are talking about regulating idea, but they have no idea where to start. Maybe you should start with Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Tesla. How about that? There's also the Terminator issue. Can AI be controlled? Or have we started a chain reaction that is unstoppable, as with an atomic bomb? AI researchers have noticed the disturbing issue where AI programs are learning skills on their own without our instructions to do so, as in the Bengali example. This is referred to as emergent properties. If AI is using humans as its example, we can't exactly count on them to be nice. By the way, I did date the Terminator in Terminator 3, the female Terminator, or the Terminatrix, who was the stunt double for the actress in that movie. Boy, was she in shape. I'm not the only one using algorithms. Some 80 to 90% of all current trading is algorithmic driven. I was walking on the Miami waterfront a few years ago and saw this super yacht, and look what it's called, algorithm. How about that? This is 3 years of our profit predictor performance. So you get lots of sells, lots of buys at market bottoms, lots of sells at market tops, buy, sell, buy, sell. It's like having a printing press for $100 bills. This is 7 months of S&P 500 index AI signals, and we want you to buy when we get down to these low levels, we want you to sell at these tops. And after prolonged series of topping moves, we went 100% cash up here and completely missed the recent downturn. 92.45% trailing one-year return versus 8.51% for the S&P 500. That's more than a 10-to-1 performance over the S&P 500. And our average annualized return for the last 15 years is 48.15%, average annualized return, or 2.5 times the S&P 500. And at 48% a year for 15 years, Ed, isn't enough for you? I'm sorry, I'm doing the best I can. Maybe you should go somewhere else. This is our recent performance, AI Trade Alert performance. Notice that all months are green, and we either get spectacularly up months like we got in January and March, or flat months like we got in May and, well, I guess that's the only flat month. Maybe this is flat, 3.98% in July. In 2022, we were up 84.63% compared to minus 18.63% for the S&P 500. And then this year to date, we're at 61.76% versus 8.16% for the S&P 500. We were up 658% since inception. So AI also makes terrible recommendations that belong in the toilet, and that's why you need humans to screen all AI recommendations to filter out the garbage. It recommended InnoData because it was the best momentum stock in the market. It had gone up 400% in 6 months. What better than to buy InnoData? Wrong. This is something you wouldn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. This goes into the AI trash can. It also recommended Western Alliance Bancorp because it was near bankruptcy for several months after the regional banking crisis. Do you want to own a near bankrupt company? Not really. They have a tendency to just sit on the bottom for years. And here's another one, Affirm Holdings. That went up 250% in a month and also was a top momentum pick. Now for some real forecasts, and this is the really, really interesting part in which we are broadcasting for the first time. Our algorithm made a single stock forecast for Tesla a month ago, predicting that it would drop from 251 down to 225 in 30 days. This was the most overbought stock in the entire market with an RSI of 90%. And you can see the forecast here. 251 down to 225. What did we get for those 30 days? It actually went from 300 down to 233, a miss of only $8. So yeah, picked the top and predicted the extent of the downturn. How good is that? We also did it again with Apple. Our algorithm predicted it would decline from 184 down to 175 in 30 days. This is the second most widely stock in the world after Tesla. So this is the forecast right here. And what did it actually do over that time? It went down. We predicted 185 down to 175. It actually got down to 176. So it hit the target within $1, 30 days out. Who can beat that? Unbelievable. Okay, and here's Microsoft. We also got a forecast on Microsoft, one of the lowest volatility stocks in the market, and our algorithm predicted it would drop from 335 down to 318 in 30 days. What did it actually do? It went from 335 down to 318 versus an actual 319. Again, pegged the move by $1 30 days out. And now you're thinking, I bet you can make a ton of money being able to forecast the market 30 days out. It's kind of like getting a copy of the Wall Street Journal with all the stock prices in it for 1 month in the future. Yes, that is now possible. Okay, here's another big AI winner, up 180% in 2 weeks. That was a nice catch by Mad Hedge AI, and that happened in May. So these are big winners who've made a lot of money so far, and let's talk to them. Richard made millions religiously following my trade alerts. He now spends his retirement restoring vintage aircraft and flying them over the California coast. Greg turned 100,000 into 3 million solely on my trade alerts. He bought a new home in Orange County with Tesla solar panels, Tesla Powerwalls, and a Tesla Model 3, and still had enough money to send 3 kids to college. By the way, he made all this money on Tesla, getting in somewhere in the double-digit levels. And let's hear from our friend here in the mountains.
Hi, this is Bob. I live near Denver, Colorado, and I'm hiking on top of the Continental Divide. 9 months ago, I joined John's global dispatch service and was so impressed with the profits I made that 2 weeks ago, while hiking in the Dolomites, I joined his concierge service. And in 2 weeks, it is 100% paid for it, and I couldn't be happier. Life is good. John really helps. The other day, I had a text message exchange with him regarding some concerns I had with TLT. Put spreads, he encouraged me to stay in. I did, and today they went out at 95% of maximum potential profits. And that's the way it works for me. I hope you all do well trading yourselves. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bob. And Bob is going to be coming up to my San Diego lunch, which is in a couple weeks. Now, let's see if we get this to stay forward. If you were not up 92.45% in the past 12 months, as I was, you are reading the wrong newsletter or following the wrong trade mentoring service. 92.45% in a year versus 8.51 for the S&P 500. How did we do it this year? Well, in January, we bought big tech, energy, Tesla, and bonds. In February, we sold short big tech, Tesla, and energy. In March, we bought all the big banks and brokers. In April, we bought copper, steel, and ran the longs in big banks and brokers. In May, we sold short bonds and bought big tech. And in July, we went 100% cash and went on vacation. And that's looking pretty good right now. This is our typical trade sheet and shows you what kinds of trades we've been doing. You can see here we went long Apple, long the TLT, long the triple Qs, long the TLT, where we made a 32% profit. Long Tesla made 10.5. Long TLT made another 32.7. Long gold, we made 15.6%, and so on and so on and so on. You get those kind of numbers, you do things that other people don't get to do, like take the Queen Mary from New York to England. When you get to England, you can take the Orient Express from London to Venice, Italy. And by the way, this is the last year the Orient Express is leaving from England because of all of the border problems caused by Brexit. Next year, you'll have to take a train to Paris to catch the Orient Express. Once you get to Venice, you can go island hopping on your personal helicopter. So here's where the big money will be made in the future. The 2000s and the 2010s were the hard decades for making money. The 2020s and the 2030s will be the easy ones as a global demographic wave brings on a new golden age. 85 million millennials become big spenders over the next 15 years, while 80 million baby boomers, a drag on the economy, fade from the scene. That will create an economic boom that will last another decade starting in 2023. And that's me watching climbers come down from the Matterhorn from my chalet in Zermatt. Up 20 times in 18 years. That's what the market did from 1982 to 2000. Are you ready for a replay? Because that is exactly what happened the last time we had an identical demographic wave like we're getting now. Well, what happens if we do get the same demographic move? Well, if you assume that the bottom was 2009 and you go up 20 times from there, that takes us to Dow 120,000 by 2030. Except this time it's different. This time we have Mad Hedge AI and a whole bunch of other tech accelerators. And if you think I'm crazy with a Dow 120,000 target by 2030, we're already 2/3 of the way there. This is where we are relative to the last stock chart, up 20 times when we had the identical demographic wave as we're having now. By the way, these demographic waves start only every 40 years, and you really have to be as old as me to see two of them. Except this time we have the tech AI turbocharger. Tech is hyper accelerating on all fronts simultaneously, and the pandemic greatly sped up the rate of change. The development of functional quantum computers means that computational ability is about to increase 1 trillion-fold at no cost. The world's major computational challenges will shortly be solved, such as weather forecasting and cancer cures. All major human diseases will be cured within 10 years. Live another decade and you'll have a shot at living to 150 years old. Needless to say, barbell stocks dominate in this scenario and will account for the bulk of stock market gains in our lifetimes. The 90s had cheap computers, cheap operating software, and a new internet. The 2020s will have 10 times this number of new technology drivers, including AI. So who will show you how to play the next 90,000 Dow points? Sit with me, John Thomas, the Mad Hedge Fund Trader, in my Global Trading Dispatch. Discover how you can tap into the top performing trade mentoring service in the industry, up 92.45% in a year. Follow my research and market-beating trade alerts, and you will rake the profits in. Let a Marine combat pilot steer you to big profits. We trade single stocks, options, and ETFs for global equities, bonds, foreign exchange, and energy, commodities, precious metals, and real estate. And no, that is not the plane I flew in Desert Storm. That's a 1932 de Havilland Tiger Moth. Notice the design flaws: gas tank directly over your head, and no tail wheel. It has a tail skid instead, which is why you can only land on grass fields. AI is now dominating all trading. Get on the train before it leaves the station. Get ready to start wheeling in those whoppers with Global Trading Dispatch as your guide. This is a typical trade alert that we sent out. We got a buy signal from our algorithm for Tesla back when it was $66.73. I shot out a trade alert, said buy Tesla at 67 or better, and to buy $10,000 worth of stock, you needed 149 shares. What happened after that alert went out? Well, it went from $67 all the way up to 120. Did we just sit around and pat ourselves on the back? No. We issued a trade alert to sell, to take profits, which almost nobody else does. And this is what that looks like. Take profits. Sell Tesla at 109 or best. It's a closing trade. And on this trade, we made $6,258 on a $10,000 investment. That's a return of 62.5%. Did we just forget about Tesla after that? No. Every time it dipped, we got a buy signal from our AI. Buy, buy, buy. And in fact, we went all the way up to 1,200 on a split adjusted basis. This is why we have so many customers that retired off the back of their Tesla trades. So here's some of the 10 baggers AI has gotten us over the years. We got Zoom, that went up 10 times. We got Lam Research up 10.6 times. We got NVIDIA up 180 times. Then we got Square up 25 times. Moderna went up 40 times. We got in before the pandemic. And of course, the granddaddy of them all, Tesla, up another 180 times because of their global EV dominance, autonomous driving, solar panels, electric utility, and satellite Wi-Fi. So with my Mad Hedge AI service, you get instant trade alerts sent out at market sweet spots, about 200 a year, and all the reasons to execute them. Live bi-weekly strategy webinars with an interactive Q&A, special reports on urgent investment topics, invitations to strategy luncheons around the world. And if you want to meet me in person, you can meet me in San Diego on September 6th. more educational videos and webinars than you can consume in a lifetime, access to a 15-year database on investment ideas searchable by names and ticker symbols. And I'll even tell you the name of a surfing camp in North Africa. Warning, it's a lot harder than it looks. I think I broke my nose a few minutes after this picture was taken. This is the one-stop shop. Learn all you need for every level. It's for individuals who want to understand what is happening with their retirement funds, for people who want to learn how to trade for a living, get the financial education of a lifetime. It's for smaller institutions and financial advisors who can't afford an in-house research department. Get in before the next melt-up begins. This is what you get. You get a daily newsletter in your box 3 times a day. And this is what it looks like. You get a Mad Hedge Hot Tips that is in your box every morning before the market opens, also 5 times a day. This is what I'm not going to charge you for this service. $100,000 a year, that's what I charge my big hedge fund clients, and they're happy to pay because I make them millions of dollars. And I'm not going to charge you $12,000. That's what I charge my concierge clients who get my personal cell phone number so I can be their investment 911. And I'm not going to charge you $3,997. That is the full price for Mad Hedge AI on our website. This is the real deal. Costing this product cost me millions of dollars. The best customer service in the industry, running it costs millions more. Here's the offer you can't refuse. 6 months for just $1,997. That is a 50% discount to the website price. Click on the link on the chat box on the right. That'll take you to a dedicated sales page that is only available right now today during this webinar. It's a limited time offer only. We only take 25 new subscribers at a time. First come, first serve. I can't wait to make you a top drawer trader. Just click on the chat box on the right. Let me make money for you to pay for your own subscription. You make the trades. Discover how an experienced hedge fund manager finds and exploits the best sweet spots in any market. 6 months for just $1,997. Buy now and you'll instantly receive a trade alert with an extremely high probability of success that you can execute immediately and make some of the most serious money in your life. Don't leave good money on the table. 95% of these trade alerts make money. And I'll even give you a tease with a chart of the trade alert that AI will send you within seconds of you subscribing to this service. What I'm not going to tell you is if this is a buy or a sell. You have to go through 1,000 charts this good to find one this good, and only AI can do that. So let's go mountain climbing again so you can take a second look. When you make millions of dollars for your clients, you get a lot of pretty interesting invitations. $5,000 cases of wine, lunches on super yachts, free tickets to the Olympics, and dates with movie stars. So it was in that spirit that I traveled to Cortina, Italy to meet Mad Hedge follower Stefano. Stefano was a humble local carpenter when he first signed up for my global trading dispatch. After making a killing on the wheat ETF, Stefano promised me a lifetime supply of pasta, which is made of wheat. I came to Cortina to collect. Stefano upgraded to the Mad Hedge concierge service. Then the money really poured in. He got into Tesla at $10 and followed that up with a buy of NVIDIA at $30. By the age of 48, Stefano was able to retire early and devote his time to the first love of his life, working as an alpine mountain guide. He quickly built his hobby into a profitable business. When Stefano invited me to climb one of the most difficult local peaks, I didn't hesitate. After all, after climbing the Matterhorn 7 times, how hard can it be? It was a brilliant, clear day without a cloud in sight. Stefano roped me up with his best 80-foot black diamond rope. I had my doubts at the beginning. What Stefano considered a ledge, I considered a mere pimple sticking out the side of the mountain. But I soon reached for my first handhold. It was a piece of cake. It took 3 hours to ascend 600-foot limestone face. The view from the top was spectacular. And I didn't even fall once. You can see me there right at the very peak. Then we abseiled down. We made for the nearest chalet where we celebrated with a 1-liter beer each. Let me make millions of dollars for you as well as I have done for thousands of other followers for the last 15 years. I look forward to working with all of you. Pretty fun video, isn't it? I still can't believe I did that. So here's the offer you can't refuse, 6 months for just $19.97. Just click on the chat box on the right, and I can see the orders are already coming in. So let's see. Oh, we have a lot of orders already coming in. So let me see who these are from. We got one from Andrew in Garland, Texas. Andrew, thank you very much. Promise to work hard for your money, and you just made the best investment decision of your life. Okay, we got another one here from Rudolph. Thank you very much, Rudolph, of Mattiak, New York. Good job. Check your inbox for the trade alert and enter the order at the market opening. We have another one here from Charles in Locust Valley, New York. Good job, Charles. Look forward to working with you. Another one from Jack in Fruitland Park, Florida. We have one here from New Albany, Ohio. Another one in Citrus Heights, California. So I see we got a few questions up here. Let me take a look. Okay. To find the link to the San Diego lunch, go to madhedgefundtrader.com and click on luncheons, and the San Diego lunch will be at the top of the page. And I think the cost of that lunch is $277, and I got a nice restaurant set up right on the beachfront, and we already have a couple of concierge members signed up for that, so you can talk to them about the concierge service. Here's another one, Mr. Thomas. Thank you very much, sir. I'll be a concierge member very soon. Okay. And other thank yous here. Okay, let me check the inbox one more time. And go ahead and put in your other questions in the chat box, and I'll answer them if I can. Meantime, we've had several more people come in. If you're sitting on the fence thinking about doing this, go and subscribe now, because we've only got a couple places left. We're going to hit that 25 limitation very soon, at which point the store turns off. After that, you have to pay full retail, which is $3,997 at the website. And again, our main website is madhedgefundtrader.com. So we have Ann from Columbus, Nebraska, Robert from Buffalo Grove, Illinois, Mary from Portola Valley, California, Brock from Burley, Idaho has come in, and Brian from Thomasville, Georgia. I think I bought some furniture from there once, about 40 years ago. Okay, more orders coming in. Let's see what we've got. We have Brett from Palo Alto, California. Brett, I bet we know the same neighborhoods. And another one here. This is Malcolm. Oh, Malcolm from Tasmania, Australia. Malcolm, thank you very much. Check your inbox, get the trade alert, enter the order on your platform, and prepare to make some of the most serious money in your life. Okay, we got others coming in. Let's see what we've got. Okay, we have John from Dallas, Texas, Rich from Gainesville, Georgia, Roy in Santa Clara, California. It seems like all the AI people want in. We're getting a lot of Silicon Valley subscriptions, which is not surprising. We have Jerry from Alexandria, Virginia, Mario from Kingwood, Texas. Okay, well, I think that is it for today. I am going to leave the page open so you have access to the dedicated sales page. This is John Thomas, the Mad Hedge Fund Trader, signing off for today. Good luck and good trading.